Welcome Arithmetic Ninjas to multiplying 15 by a decimal. Now there's a quick trick you can do here, and that's to take out the decimal point, which we'll just scribble out, and put the decimal point back in at the end. Now we've taken out the decimal point, we basically turned it into a long multiplication, which we can use a magic zero method for. So let's do 28 times by 15 with a magic zero. Let's just set that up. This next one is going to be 38 times by 15. Let's set that up. The next one is going to be 56 times by 15. Notice how I'm always putting the bigger number on top. That's just personal habit. You could do 15 times 56 with a 15 on top, but I think it always works out slightly easier to do if the bigger number is on the top. You should still get the same answer in the end. Next one we're going to set up as 18 times 15. Put your lines in for your answer and you're working out. And the last one, 75 times by 15. Now don't forget we've taken the decimal point out, so we will have to put some sort of decimal point back in at the end. So let's go first of all back to question 1. So your first line is for the 5. So we're going to do 5 8s and then 5 2s. 5 8s are 40. Put the 0 in, carry the 4. 5 2s are 10, plus the 4 is 14. Put the 4 in, carry the 1. But because we finished on the top line, we need to put that 1 straight in. Scribble out the carry digits so we don't use them again by accident. And now your second line is to deal with this 1. But this 1 isn't timesing by 1, it's timesing by 10. So we need to put a magic 0 in and then just times everything by 1. 1 times 8 is 8 and 1 times 2 is 2. So that's 280. On the final line, we need to add everything together. So nothing and nothing is nothing. 4 and 8 is 12. Put the 2 in, carry the 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. Plus the 1 you just carried is 4. So it's 420. So going back to the question, 15 times 28 is 420. But remember, we took the decimal point out because it was 2.8. Now, when you take the decimal point out of 2.8 and leave it as 28, you're actually making it 10 times bigger. 28 is 10 times bigger than 2.8. So our answer is 10 times bigger than what it should be. And to make our answer 10 times smaller again, all we need to do is go to the end of the number and move our decimal point 1 place in, which leaves us with 42. So 15 times 2.8 is going to be 42. We can now rub out that decimal point. Question number 9. We're going to do the same again. We take out the decimal point from 3.8 and we call it 38. Magic zero method, so top lines for the 5. 5 8s are 40, put the 0 in, carry the 4. 5 3s are 15, plus that 4 is 19. Scribble out your 4 because you don't need to use that again. And the next column is to times by this 1. But remember, that doesn't mean 1, it means 10. So to times by 10, put your magic 0 in, and then just times by 1. 1 lot of 8 is 8, 1 lot of 3 is 3. So that makes 380. Final line, add it all together. So nothing and nothing is nothing. 9 and 8 is 17. Put the 7 in, carry the 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. Plus the 1 you just carried is 5. So your answer there is 570. So going back to the question, 15 times 38 is 570. But that 38 was 10 times too big. We only wanted it to be 3.8. So let's take the point back out. So if 15 lots of 38 is 570, 3.8 is 10 times smaller than 38, so we need to make our answer 10 times smaller. So to make 570 10 times smaller, go to the end of the number and move your decimal point 1 place in. That gives you an answer of 57. So 15 times 3.8 is 57. Question number 12. 5.6 times by 15. Now again, we're taking the decimal point out and calling it 56 times 15. We can always make our answer 10 times smaller at the end by putting the decimal point back in. So here we go. 5 6s are 30, put the 0 in, carry the 3. 5 5s are 25, plus the 3 is 28. Scribble out 3 because you won't be needing that again. And now the second line is to deal with the 1. But remember, the 1 doesn't mean 1, it means 10. So put your magic 0 in, and then just times by 1. And that will have the same effect as timesing by 10. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 5 is 5. Final line is to add everything together. Nothing and nothing is nothing. 8 and 6 is 14. Put the 4 in, carry the 1. 2 plus 5 is 7. Plus that 1 is 8. So the answer to 56 times 15 is 840. But remember, we didn't want it to be 56 in the first place. We only wanted it to be 5.6. So let's take that decimal point out. So if 56 times 15 is 840, 5.6 times 15 must be 10 times smaller, because 5.6 is 10 times smaller than 56. So this 840 needs to be 10 times smaller. So go to the end of the number and move your decimal point one place in, and that now gives you 84.0. So your final answer, 5.6 times 15, is 84.0. Question 14. 15 times 1.8. Well, we're going to take the decimal point out and do 15 times 18. So here we go, top lines for the 5. 5 8s and then 5 1s. 5 8s are 40, put the 0 in, carry the 4. 5 1s are 5, plus the 4 is 9, so that's 90. Scribble out your carry digit because you don't need to use that again. And the second line is for this 1 here, but this 1 doesn't mean 1, it means 10. So you put your magic 0 in and times by 1, because that has the same effect as timesing by 10. 1 times 8 is 8, 1 times 1 is 1, so that's 180. Final line, add it all together. Nothing and nothing is nothing. 9 and 8 is 17, put the 7 in, carry the 1. 1 plus the 1 I've just carried is 2. So 270. So 15 times 18 is 270. But we didn't want to times by 18. We wanted to times by 1.8. So let's get rid of that decimal point. And by getting rid of the decimal point, we've made the 18 10 times smaller again to get back to 1.8. So we need to make the 270 10 times smaller. So to make 270 10 times smaller, go to the end of the number and just move your decimal point one place in. So your answer to that one is 27, or 27.0. Final question, 15 times 7.5. Well, we'll take it out the decimal point. So that's 15 times 75. And away we go. We can always put the decimal point back in at the end. 5 5s are 25. Put the 5 in, carry the 2. 5 7s are 35. Plus the 2 is 37. Scribble out your carry digit because you don't want to use that again by accident. And we're timesing this on the second line by this 1. But the 1 doesn't mean 1, it means 10. So you put your magic 0 in and then times by 1 because it has the same effect as timesing by 10. 1 times 5 is 5, 1 times 7 is 7. All that you have to do then is add everything together. 5 and nothing is 5, 7 and 5 is 12, put the 2 in, carry the 1. 3 plus 7 is 10, plus 1 is 11. So 15 times 75 is 1,125, but we didn't want to be timesing by 75. We want to times by 7.5. So if we put the point back in, we are making the 75 10 times smaller, be back to what we wanted it to be, that's 7.5. So we need to make our answer 10 times smaller. To make your answer 10 times smaller, go to the end of the number and move your decimal point in one place, which means it's going to go between the 2 and the 5. So your final answer is 112.5. Okay, so now we've had a go at question 1, 9, 12, 14, 17. It's your turn to have a go at the ones we've missed out. Off you go. Good luck.